Imagine if you live in a society where telling the truth is treason, where kindness can be twisted into betrayal, and where being a good person doesn't protect you. It paints a target on your back. Sound dystopian? That's because it is, but it's also a chilling mirror to the world we live in. George Orwell, the man behind 1984 and Animal Farm, understood something most people still don't want to face, that in an age of ideological extremism, being a decent, moral, and honest person is not enough. In fact, it might be dangerous. It makes you visible. It makes you vulnerable. Today, we're diving into Orwell's prophetic warning, how good intentions are no match for authoritarian systems, how decency can be weaponized, and why the most dangerous people are often the ones who mean well. We like to think that morality protects us, that if we do good, we will be safe. But Orwell knew otherwise. In 1984, Winston Smith isn't a villain. He's not corrupt. He just wants to love, to think freely, to tell the truth. But in Oceania, those are crimes. His decency doesn't shield him. It condemns him. Orwell warns us that in totalitarian regimes, good people are often the first to suffer. Why? Because they still believe in truth. Because they resist. Because they think. In a society built on lies, the truth is a threat, and those who speak it are enemies of the state. This is the moral inversion Orwell feared, when right becomes wrong and wrong becomes survival, where silence is safety and honesty is rebellion. The moment the system can twist morality, being a good person is no longer protection. It becomes a liability. Here's where it gets darker. Authoritarian systems don't just fear good people, they use them. They weaponize kindness. In Animal Farm, Boxer the horse is the hardest worker, the most loyal, the most selfless. His motto, "I will work harder." And what happens to him? He's sent to the slaughterhouse when he's no longer useful. Boxer isn't punished for being bad. He's punished for being good in the wrong way. He's a warning to everyone who believes that blind loyalty and hard work are enough to protect them. Orwell is screaming through the pages, your goodness can be exploited. This is the cruel irony. Systems of control don't just crush resistance, they harvest virtue. They take your willingness to help, to serve, to trust, and they twist it. They use it to build the very machine that will grind you down. But it's not just about how good people are treated. It's about how good people can become part of the problem. Orwell knew that the road to hell isn't paved with malice. It's paved with good intentions. Think of the bureaucrats in 1984 who erase history, not because they love lies, but because they believe they're doing what's necessary. Orwell's genius was showing how ordinary, well-meaning people can uphold monstrous systems, not because they're evil, but because they think they're doing the right thing. They trust the party, they believe in the cause, they're good citizens, and that's exactly what makes them dangerous. He was warning us, if you don't question power, if you don't stay awake, your goodness can be hijacked. You can become a cog in the very machine you thought you were fighting. One of Orwell's most tragic messages is that morality in corrupt systems is isolating. In 1984, Winston finds no safety in numbers. The Brotherhood may not even exist. Julia, his lover, betrays him. And in the end, his own mind is broken. Not because he was evil, but because he dared to believe. Conscience becomes a solitary act. To see clearly is to suffer alone. Orwell isn't offering comfort here. He's offering clarity. If you choose to be awake in a sleeping world, you'll be alone, you'll be attacked, and you'll be right. This loneliness is not a flaw. It's the cost of integrity. Orwell knew that truth-tellers often walk alone, that in a culture of conformity, the moral compass points away from the crowd. The danger of being a good person is that you may find yourself without allies. And yet, Orwell doesn't ask us to give up. He doesn't say goodness is pointless. He says it's dangerous, but that's precisely why it matters. In a world where truth is punished, telling it becomes an act of rebellion. In a society where kindness is manipulated, practicing it freely becomes resistance. Orwell's real message is this: be good not because it will save you, but because it's right. The danger of being a good person is real, but so is the power. One voice can break silence. One question can unravel propaganda. One act of decency can remind others of their own humanity. So the next time you're told to fall in line, to stop asking questions, to choose comfort over conscience, remember Orwell's warning. Being good won't make you safe, but it might make you free. George Orwell doesn't haunt us because he was wrong. He haunts us because he was right, because we keep seeing his warnings play out, because every time someone is punished for telling the truth, his ghost gets a little louder. The danger of being a good person is that you live in a world that doesn't always reward decency. But Orwell believed that even if it costs you, truth is still worth speaking. Kindness is still worth showing. Conscience is still worth listening to. So ask yourself, when the time comes, when the pressure rises, will you conform? Or will you be the kind of good that resists? That's the question Orwell left us, and it's the question only you can answer. Thanks for listening.